Welcome back, gamers, to another episode of the Slow Run Cast. It is Sunday, January 20th, 2025, and we're going to fill you in on all the good video game news from the last week, including, but not limited to, the Switch 2 reveal, some updates on Sony's live service push, and rumors about Xbox first-party games going multi-platform. All this, and to top it off, we got Durwin's review of Dynasty Warriors Origins. As always, I am your host, the Iraqi Balboa, joined by my friend, co-host, and I don't know, man, playing a game or trick on me because he's got his camera turned off and told me to just wait and see, the Durwinator.
So I've got a little mini surprise for you. So do you remember when I messaged you midweek saying that I bought something? I didn't tell you what it was.
No.
But
oh my God.
It's kind of a surprise.
If you bought a 5090, I'm going to lose it. They're not out yet.
No, they're not out yet. They're not out yet. Any guesses on what I bought at Costco with my cash back?
Oh, you told me. And then I was like, no,
Yeah, I didn't tell you what I bought. I just said I bought something.
You bought a Pro. Don't tell me you bought a PS5 Pro.
All right. No, you didn't get it right, but here, let me show you.
Thank God I didn't get it right. Okay.
Let me just make sure I'm clicking the right button.
All right.
Cuz
oh my God, he did it. Oh.
I'm recording from the metaverse, guys.
Oh my God. Damn. Is that the 3?
It's the 3S.
Oh, okay.
Costco only sells the 3S, and I wasn't really willing to dish out more than $700 on a
How
headset.
much is the 3S for?
So the 3S I picked up with Batman, with a carrying case for $489, and then with cash back I paid about $250 Canadian.
Wow. Oh my God. You're gonna play Batman Arkham.
I have already started, my guy.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that's so exciting.
I did some crazy homework. Well, I'm like 10 minutes into Batman Arkham Shadows, but it is, I have to say, I'm kind of sold on VR gaming. I'm not really sold on like some of the other features with the Quest 3S, but I don't know if I'll keep it. AR gaming though, really sick. I have Half-Life Alyx downloaded. I just haven't
through the Steam online.
Yeah. There's a way to Steam link it. I just haven't figured it out yet. Yeah. I ideally want to just play through the cable because I understand that with the Steam Link wireless, you're basically kind of streaming the game, and I don't really want to stream.
Yeah, you could just plug in a cable, I guess. But
yeah.
Wireless. You could.
I just don't know how to do it yet.
Okay.
So let me just take this off.
How is the see-through on the camera?
The pass-through isn't great. It's like you're watching it through a I don't know, 8 megapixel camera or something like that, or 12 megapixel camera.
Screen with the pass-through on the PSVR 2. The PSVR 2 pass-through, you can't even look at the screen. It just like it looks.
Oh, really? Okay, I can see the screen. It's not a great like screen. It's like everything's fuzzy. But for the price I paid, literally $250, I can't really complain, right?
My God, if the Slow Run Cast amounts to nothing, it has at least amounted to 2 success stories from me. I got another human being on VR, and I got my entire extended friend group addicted to an indie game. Guys who only play like multiplayer games addicted to Balatro. Like, oh my God. I am so happy right now.
Yeah. So I do have to say there are some like additional gripes with the 3S for people that wear glasses. I'm going to probably, if I do keep it, I'm probably going to have to buy the prescription lenses because it sucks wearing a VR headset with glasses on. I've tried it with this pair and this pair. The other thing I was about to buy is the Meta Ray-Ban glasses, but I stopped myself there. I'm actually looking at the X-Real 1 Pros. They're not out yet. They're out in March, but it's also another like mixed reality, but it's just a pair of glasses.
Really?
Have you seen
I
those?
don't even know what those are. What are they called?
So the X-Real 1 Pros. Take a look at it.
X-Real 1 Pro.
Yeah, they just look like glasses, and they do the exact same thing, and the pass-through is a lot better.
Holy smokes.
I'm super interested in like trying one of these.
Yeah, but you can't game on this or anything.
You can.
How? What? What the heck?
Yeah, it just basically acts like a monitor. I don't know if like I've seen people hook up a Steam Deck. I don't know about like a PS5 and stuff, but that would be crazy because you can make it's got a 57-degree like field of view or something wild like that. So
57
you can
degree
have like
field of
you can have
view.
like huge display.
Oh, dude, you could watch movies on stuff on this. Oh, dude, this is insane.
800 Canadian though
Smokes,
works
dude.
out to be.
This is like, yo, it's tiny, bro. This is literally the breakthrough instead of wearing a bulky headset. This is the VR AR like breakthrough.
Right? I
It's
don't
amazing.
think
What
you
is this
could
called?
probably play PC VR games because I don't know
You must be able to play Steam VR,
how
but
it
it's just, what do you
works.
call it? Well, if you have your computer, like if you have a PC that's running the game,
Yeah, and you're just playing it as a display.
yeah,
I
you
don't
should be able
know.
to play it as a display. Oh,
Yeah,
dude, I'm seeing people like this guy. They're like showing Cyberpunk 2077 being played on it.
yeah.
Oh,
So they
bro,
have
this is insane.
cheaper models of it, but I mean,
Dude, I'm gonna buy this. Holy smokes, I'm cooked. I'm gonna buy this.
you got played. You were trying to convert me to VR, but then now I'm reconverting you to buy something else.
World's first AR glasses equipped with first self-developed spatial computing chip. Dude.
Yeah, you should take a look at some of the other models. They're a little bit cheaper, but I think the new one that's supposed to be
600
released in
USD?
March.
Bro, I
Yeah.
have a hardware itch. I have a hardware itch, bro. And I've had it for a while now. And like I think everything else is like, yo, I just buy this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
You're
have
gonna give up your OLED TV just for this.
yeah, bro. My OLED TV. Yeah, that could bro, I could watch movies anywhere. I could be like pretending I'm taking care of my kids.
Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm super interested. I mean, if we do get a pair, then we should definitely try it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe we can monetize.
I'm super excited to give the game a try, and then if I'm really sold on the 3S, then I'll probably keep it. If not, I might return it and see if I can pick up a pair of those.
Was there another product you were interested in? Or was it just the
For VR, no.
yeah,
No.
okay. This
Nothing else. Not even the PSVR 2.
I
I
mean
thought about it,
I'm not like
but
the craziest VR AR aficionado, but I didn't even know this existed, this product.
yeah. They have a few, quite a few models, but I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't taken the plunge. It's kind of an expensive plunge, but
Yeah.
the Pro model seems like it's the one.
Yeah. Man, that is amazing.
All
I
right,
didn't see that coming. Okay.
let's segue right into that. Talking about hardware.
Hardware. All right, man. So, okay.
I have to eat my words. I have to eat my words from last week.
You do have to. Yeah. I for by about like Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm like, this is happening. And Durwin's like, oh gosh, sure, buddy. Switch 2. We've heard that one before.
Yeah.
So start of the week, and even last week there was rumors, and I intentionally didn't put them on the show notes. I'm like, I'm done. Nobody needs to hear that there's new rumors and leaks about the Switch 2. Like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
And then,
good thing I shoehorned the Switch leak into the episode last week.
Yeah. And then earlier this week, Monday, Nate the Hate, who's pretty well known for like insider information and leaking stuff within the gaming industry, reports that the Switch 2 we're gonna get a first look and reveal for it this Thursday that just passed, the 16th, and that it was slated to come out this summer. I believe it was in May or June.
Mm-hmm.
And as the days went on, it seemed more and more likely that this thing was going to happen. And I'm sitting there collecting news of rumors on the show notes, which I inevitably deleted entirely because they became redundant by Thursday. So the Switch 2 has finally been revealed, and it is literally called the Nintendo Switch 2. If you haven't seen the reveal video, it's like 2-3 minutes long. You could find it on their YouTube. And it looks like a Switch 2.
It
And
looks exactly like the leaks, hey?
it looks exactly like the leaks. It confirmed everything. It's very early on. It's just like almost a preview sneak peek. There is not a state of play, sorry. Nintendo Direct scheduled for April 2nd this year, where we're going to get a deeper look and potentially maybe a release date. So, but for now, we're just working with this 2-3 minute video.
Yeah.
The
Have you
magnetic
seen the
Joy-Con.
people break down the Switch to all like the stuff in the trailers?
No,
It's pretty
because I think
wild.
it's obvious, man. It's just like all the
Yeah.
rumors. So first of all, it's bigger form factor than the Switch 2.
Yeah.
Same exact design idea, handheld and docked. It looks very similar to the Switch, almost identical. Almost, I would call it a Switch 1.5.
Yeah.
Maybe almost, like the equivalent between like a PS5
I
and
think
PS5 Pro.
Nintendo really learned their lesson from the Wii U. They don't want to add some random ass like
I mean,
like making a Switch S or a Switch W.
Switch U
Yeah,
or
and
a
they just
Switch.
kept it with a 2, and that's
Yeah,
exactly what they needed to do.
I thought we would get the Super Switch. I thought we would get the Super
Yeah.
Nintendo.
A Super
Listen,
Switch does sound pretty sick, though. Not gonna
yeah,
lie.
yeah. Listen, I think it was a little bit of a kind of not that exciting of a reveal because it kind of confirmed everything that we've been seeing so far through leaks.
Yeah, I think
The
I
form factor.
messaged you and was like, we literally got a trailer for a trailer, which
Yeah,
was,
we
if
did.
you remember properly, a trailer because I think it was the last Switch Direct or the Nintendo Direct. They were saying like, yes, we know like the Switch will eventually be announced, not at this one, but like later on. So
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah,
the
yeah.
third trailer for
This is, yeah.
the actual release.
They would confirm the existence of this thing before showing us that this thing existed.
Yeah,
Basically,
exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, it's larger. The Joy-Cons look like they are magnetic snap-on. It looks like the sticks are also in that light magnetic to prevent the stick drift that we had on the Switch.
Yeah, the
Which
halo
leads to
effect
this
trigger or the
C
halo
button.
effect joysticks
Yeah,
is what it's rumored to be.
yeah. So the buttons and the joysticks are probably bigger as well, just based on the size of the new design. It seems like there's a C button. It doesn't actually have a C written on it, but it was rumored that there was a C button.
Yep.
Which was an additional button if you look on the right Joy-Con. It's a little less flashy. It's like almost entirely black, and the colors are more like a sleek kind of finish on the sides.
Yeah, I really like the color design of the Switch 2.
Yeah, I like the dock design. Seems like you could see a little bit of the top over. I don't know. Maybe that's gonna have some type of like. Maybe it'll show you the time or something cool for your like.
Oh yeah, so to make it more like actual dock with a little bit more purpose.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like potentially there was rumors that you could use the Joy Cons as a mouse.
As a mouse? Yeah.
And it seemed to suggest that in the
Yeah.
trailer.
Yeah, did you see it like it kind of run away almost like a mouse?
Yeah. We saw the support handle for placing it on a table and
Yeah.
playing it seems a lot more sturdy.
Yeah, the hinge.
Yeah, the hinge. We don't know if it's OLED or not. That's a big question mark.
Yeah, I would be very disappointed if they went backwards and went with an LCD, but I have a feeling they might.
I kind of hope there's maybe two versions of this.
Like a second version and
the OLED version that has more storage maybe or whatever. And we got a look at what appears to be Mario Kart 9 being played on the Switch.
Yeah, that one I have to eat my words, unless they call it Mario 8.
I mean, I didn't predict it was. I thought for sure the 3D Mario was more likely, but yeah.
I mean, it's not officially announced in terms of a launch lineup, right? So you might still be right.
Yeah. And then there appears to be backwards compatibility, but it's not full backwards
Yeah.
compatibility. And we don't know what that actually means right now.
Yeah. A lot
Does
of
that mean
people are speculating most games will work, but there's the certain ones like the Ring Fit.
Ring Fit Adventure? Yeah.
Yeah. And like some of those ones that use like the Joy Cons because the holders won't work, right?
Yeah. So we don't know what that is. I wouldn't get all freaked out and worked up
Hmm.
about that yet. But it could be like the PlayStation 5 wasn't fully backwards compatible with all the PS4 games. There was like a small list of PS4 games
Yeah.
that didn't actually run on a PS5, but the majority of them did. Could be something like that. And April 2nd for the bigger reveal. And it seems like there's a worldwide hands-on tour that's happening the over late this spring, and there's only one of these events happening in Canada,
Yeah.
in Toronto, April 25th to 27, and the ticket registration's already started.
Yeah. I
Like,
have enrolled my name into it.
no way. Okay, okay, that's
So,
exciting.
I mean, technically, I tried to add. So you have to be in the same family to enroll like multiple people. So if you can pass off as an Asian girl
Yeah, could be.
named Nicole,
Yeah,
then yeah, maybe we can do a little trip to Toronto.
we could go together. Yeah,
Yeah, we can go. We'll make an excuse saying that we're gonna see your wife's family.
my name is Nicole. Your sister's watching this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's rumors that Nintendo has maybe beaten these scalpers. Did you hear how many units they plan to produce in the first
20
year?
million. 20 million, right?
Yeah.
And word on the street is the reason why we're getting all these leaks about the form factor and whatnot. Remember that there was the Genki one at the CES, was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Where they literally had a 3D model printout of what a Switch 2 would look like
Yeah.
to show that their accessories work on it. And it's literally the Switch 2 now in hindsight. We're looking
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. It literally looks the exact same.
Yeah. I think it's because they already started manufacturing these in large numbers. So word's
Hmm.
getting out what they look like because, I mean, you can't control like it's going to come out. Factory workers are seeing this thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like for sure, maybe someone's taken a photo or something and it's made its way.
Yeah.
Made its rounds.
All the
But yeah,
potato photos.
which listen, I don't care if you beat the scalpers, beat the scalpers. Who cares, right?
Yeah. I mean,
It's,
it's only good news for consumers, right? If there's enough supply to go
mhm.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what else? They were saying that Mario Kart 9 seemingly showed off 24 racers at once.
Yeah. That's wild.
And
That's a lot of players.
that's not. I mean, that would melt probably the current Switch. Yeah. And we've been getting news about some of the games that are potentially coming to this thing, and it's actually kind of exciting considering
Yeah.
we were concerned about the performance of this thing. Was it going to be another potato like the Switch? But
Do
we've
you think
already
it's going to run into the same issues that the Switch did? Because if you remember when the Switch launched, people were saying, like, oh, yeah, we're going to get like third party games. We did, but it took a lot of optimization for things to run.
I think it will run into the same situation eventually, but for now, I don't think we have to worry about it because it seems to be. I mean, I'm going to go through this list. Some of these games that are rumored to be coming to this thing, if it could handle them, I just see the technological leap that we're having right now with how powerful your system needs to be to handle some of these games is like because it's not the same as like every console generation. The jumps have been smaller. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the NES to the SNES, SNES to the 64 to the GameCube and so on. It's been plateauing out. So if it could run some of these rumored games that I'll go through right now, I don't see that it'll be as big of a potato as the original Switch. I think it'll have a little bit longer life
like
of
a
their
lifespan.
it'll
Yeah.
be just it'll just come down to how good developers are optimizing their games rather
Mhm.
than the physical hardware. But so apparently Metal Gear Solid Delta is rumored to be a launch title for this game. That's the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, which was supposed to come out last year, but seemingly has been delayed without any information on when it's going to come out. Ubisoft is apparently releasing a number of games on the system, and Ubisoft is one of those publishers that's usually like hops onto new platforms and tries to get their games on new platforms as much as possible. Like there's a lot of Ubisoft games on, like, remember Google Stadia. They're always trying to like put their games on as many platforms as possible.
Yeah.
And so Assassin's Creed Shadows, Assassin's Creed Mirage, The Division, Rainbow Six Siege, and in addition to that, and we'll circle back to this story because it's kind of an Xbox story, but kind of a Nintendo story at the same time. Apparently, Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, which sounds insane, is going to be a Switch 2 game.
Yeah.
Halo Master Chief Collection, and there was one more, Age of Mythology, as well, which would be cool to play with your mouse, with your Joy-Con mouse on
Yeah. That's gonna be like
on the
pretty
Switch 2.
crazy. I'm just gonna
So
move.
that's some crazy stuff. I mean, otherwise, as far as first party, Mario Kart 9, we've said that. New 3D Super Mario obviously is always a speculation. Metroid Prime 4, which is apparently also a Switch game, so maybe it'll be like a cross-gen game. I mean, probably enhanced versions of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Ring Fit Adventure 2, that's also been rumored, speculated. Doom the Dark Ages, because that's coming out soon, and with Xbox putting their first party games on multi-platform, the other Dooms have previously been ported to Switch with varying success. Resident Evil 4 remake, maybe, that's another one they're speculating. But yeah, so I don't know. It's obviously like nothing confirmed yet, but it's exciting news, I think. I
Yeah.
I'm kind of torn between this because from one aspect I feel like I really feel like this almost feels like a mid-console refresh. It doesn't feel like a new console generation. It really feels like the Switch Pro that, remember, we were all talking about a Switch Pro
Yeah.
in
Yeah. Like
2021. Remember, we were saying the Switch Pro is coming out, and then it just turned out to be an OLED version of the Switch.
yeah. Yeah. That
Um,
was
it feels a little bit like that, but I'll wait and see. I'll hold my breath. Maybe the leaks kind of took some wind out of it over the course of the years. But the games that they're saying could potentially be run on this thing, if it can run these and run these good enough, I would be comfortable with making my Switch 2 like the primary handheld console instead of like even looking towards something like a Steam Deck or any of these other ones. So I'm
yeah.
curious to see how well it could compete with them.
Yeah. I'm also very curious in terms of kind of like a controversial topic, but emulation for the Switch 2. Like if it's fully backwards compatible, then what does that mean for emulation? So like will people just buy these handhelds and then rip their games to play on something that's potentially even more powerful than a Switch 2?
I don't know. I am yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a something, but
It's just
I guess
something
you do lose out on certain games. Like you don't just buy Switch just because you want to play like handheld. Like some of those games like Mario Party and stuff, you can't replicate the experience,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, some people don't even play their Switch handheld, like they buy it because they want the Nintendo games, even though they're playing docked, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Just a thought. Like I just wonder how emulation will look like, but only time will tell for that one.
Yeah. Exciting news, man. We finally got it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Was so unexpected too, like,
Yeah. I didn't see it this early, but I also kind of feel like they just wanted to get ahead of it. I feel like it was getting a little bit out of hand for them. Like we
Yeah.
were getting rumors and leaks almost weekly. Like,
Yeah,
and it
it's
just
like
kept
every
getting
so often
inflated.
it's like, "Oh, look at this picture. Here's the whole
All of
motherboard."
2024. All of 2024. Like the biggest
Yeah.
news story of 2024 was where's the Switch? Let's just keep chasing these rumors and stuff about it. So apparently, did you see that Pokemon ZA supposedly only being developed for the original?
Yeah. It's built on like the original hardware.
So it's not going to get
Yeah.
improved on the Switch 2, even if you played on the Switch 2 through
I
backwards
would think
compatibility?
that you would still get like a frame rate boost.
That's my
Like
question. Yeah.
you should technically get like the benefits of like it being smoother per se, but you won't get the benefits of like what they've already kind of programmed into the game itself, right? So like the amount of detail is probably going to be preset, and the amount that will show up all at once on the screen is probably preset kind of deal.
I mean, yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious to see if it'll have anything similar to, you know, maybe some of the quick delivery or smart delivery stuff like the Series X.
Yeah.
If there's something on the lines of that where things get
You know
played.
what would be funny if we got a remake for Arceus?
Yeah. I might play that game if it is remade. Like that, that game really was interesting to me. But then
Yeah. Yeah.
the
It is
performance.
a different concept for sure.
Yeah, that's Nintendo. Exciting stuff. It's gonna be an exciting year. Looking forward to
To what shows up.
yeah. So, or I might just not buy it and buy these AR glasses, but we'll see.
You gotta pick. You gotta pick
Yeah,
blue pill or red pill. Do you see the world new?
Switch or AR glasses.
Or you convince your wife to buy the Switch 2 as a present for you, and then
Yeah.
you buy your glasses as a present for yourself.
Yeah, let me remind you that the Switch we have in the house is a Switch I bought for my wife as a present. So it's gonna be the other way around, brother.
Oh,
my,
gotcha.
my wife's not buying Switch 2 for me as a present. I'm buying her the Switch 2 as a present.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, that is Nintendo. Let us move on to the other big platform holders and starting with Sony. And unfortunately, the news on this end is not good. Not good. Jason Schreier from Bloomberg reported this week that Sony has canceled 2 more live service games. And those are games being developed by Bend Studio, which now I think it was already confirmed to us that Bend Studio was working on a live service game, and it was already previously confirmed to us that Days Gone 2 was not greenlit by Sony. They were pushed onto this. We don't know what Bend Studio's live service game was, but it's gone now. And which saddens me the most is Blue Point Games. The game they were working on was apparently a God of War multiplayer. Both of those have been canned now. Now, I don't want the viewers to misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not sad that God of War multiplayer got canned. I'm sad that Blue Point Games were working on a live service game for these last 4 or 5 years. Previously, it was rumored that they were not working on another remake or remaster like that they've previously been doing for Demon Souls, Shadow of the Colossus, or the Uncharted PS3 remasters to the PS4. No, that they were working on a new IP. A new IP. And when I did a review of Sony's live service portfolio, about, if you remember on an episode like maybe a month or two ago, where I kind of went through all the devs under Sony first party and talked about what live service games they're working on.
Yep.
There was actually no news or information that I could find that actually said Blue Point Games game was one of these live service games. Found out it is now.
So did you update your tally on what is left for these live service games?
So when I previously did the tally, I grabbed the paper that I wrote it on and just threw it after we were done the episode. So I was like sitting there regretting. So I kind of went back and did it again. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here, but I just want to give the readers the news first, and then I will go into my rant, and I'll go into the tally of games, see where we're at. So we know those games are gone. We don't really know what this live service God of War game would have been. Personally, that doesn't sound something very interesting to me. I don't know about you, but
yeah. I think we both want to see Kratos destroy some gods, not
yeah,
play some multiplayer.
I don't know. And apparently, we also got some news the same week, unrelated to this, that Bungie has another live service game. I kind of mentioned this in the review, but I wasn't too sure about this because there wasn't a lot of information about it. It's called Gummy Bears. At the time when I looked into it, I didn't really know what it was, but it's apparently a MOBA that's somehow inspired by Smash Brothers. It's being done by a spin-off kind of group of Bungie, which I think now are actually their own dev. Like I think officially now they've spun off and become a different studio under Sony. They don't actually have an official name or anything yet. It's not public news, but yeah, they're working on a game called Gummy Bears. That's still live and well. And also, we also got confirmation this week that Guerrilla Games' multiplayer game, Horizon game, is also alive and well. And I think I mentioned previously that there's actually 2 Horizon games, live service games being developed. A multiplayer game being developed by Guerrilla, whatever that means. I think it was supposed to be like a co-op something experience. And there is an MMO apparently being developed by another developer outside of the Sony portfolio that's just kind of working in conjunction with Sony. And kind of in the same vein this week, Shuhei Yoshida did his first interview after leaving Sony, and it was with Kind of Funny Games Greg Miller, and he divulged that because he wasn't really working with under PlayStation for the last few years. He was working in other departments in Sony.
Mm-hmm.
Basically said he would have been against this live service push. And he was asked to speculate as to why there hasn't been a Bloodborne remake or remaster. And he said, his speculation was, maybe it's because they want Miyazaki involved. And Miyazaki's just too busy right now. And he's not ready for that yet.
Mm.
And he said, it's just speculation. I don't know because I don't work, which I'm kind of like, you don't know, but you're top
you probably
Sony. If a Bloodborne game was being remastered or remade, or there's a Bloodborne 2 in the works,
you're probably the best person.
You know, even if you're not in that department. So this news kind of tells me that nothing is in the works for that franchise. Do you have any thoughts before I kind of give you a rundown on where we're sitting with this mess?
No, go straight for this rundown. I'm most interested in this rundown because originally it was like 11 live service games, right?
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. I didn't go
like
that deep.
Something ridiculous.
There was
like
11
double
or 12
digit
or something that they wanted released before 2024. You know what? If you want, just go back and listen to if listeners want a better rundown, just go back and listen to that episode. I believe it would have been in October or something, where I kind of took a deep dive into what the situation is. Okay. Let's get into it. This is the part where I'm going to start ranting, and I'm going to raise my voice and potentially maybe punch the screen. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that yet.
Hey, if you break the screen, you get new AR glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe. Yeah. Then I'll do this podcast on AR glasses. Yeah. I mean, this just keeps getting worse. Like, Bend's studio. Okay, let's start with Bend. Bend's last game was from 2019, Days Gone. We know that Days Gone 2 was pitched to Sony, and they said no for whatever reason. We know kind of Days Gone didn't launch in the best condition. Its critic score was not very high, probably undersold. So no, and I think their creative director at the time left after the Days Gone 2 pitch didn't go through. They got put on a live service game. We don't know exactly what that live service game was right now. That's now approximately 5 years ago. 6 years ago from 2019, because I believe it came out early 2019, Days Gone. That game is canceled. That is 6 years of development time down the drain. I'm going to tell you something right now. This studio, I would say, is at risk of getting shut down.
Yeah. Honestly, if I was an employee at the studio, I would
still
also be at the verge of wanting to quit.
Yeah, I think I'd start looking. I mean, people
Right?
get in this for their passion. If you work on something for 6 years and it just gets canceled,
Yeah. Not even that, but to be denied what you really want to make.
yeah,
Yeah. Like Days Gone is such an underrated game.
it is. But that doesn't
Eh,
matter for.
yeah, for sales and numbers and
Well,
whatever.
let me
But
tell you. Let me tell you something, Derwin. I'm gonna be aggressive here, but I'm not aggressive against you. I'm just aggressive against the world. What makes more money? A poorly selling Days Gone 2 or this live service game that you just canceled? What would have made you more money? Honest to God. I know hindsight's 2020, but like, who is in charge, man? Who's calling the shots? Are these people delusional? Why does every single one of your studios need to be making a live service game and none of them have even made live service games before?
yeah.
It's nuts, bro. This is insane. They've literally, this PS5 is starting to look like potentially one of the worst PlayStation consoles as far as first party showing is. We're in 2025. We've been talking about there's got to be a state of play coming or something, or a showcase. We don't know what's coming out, man. We said that early 2024. We said you guys got like second party Rise of the Ronin, Stellar Blade. That's it, and third party exclusive Rebirth. They showed us Astrobot later in the year, but now, I mean, with this, I'm like, yo, like, what do you have coming out before the end of the year, before the end of this console generation,
Yeah.
before 2027, 2028 with these development times? You had a studio on a game for 6 years that you just canceled. Like, the mismanagement is insane. This like almost feels like PS3 level mismanagement. Like, I don't know how you're gonna bounce back from this. And after this, I'm gonna show you what Xbox is cooking, and you could compare. And I know it sounds like it's already too late for Xbox. They've already gave up on that.
Yeah.
But this would be like, if what Xbox is cooking is like would have been console rebounding if it didn't happen too late.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're halfway into the console war, right? Or like halfway into the console generation, right? At this point.
Yeah, but I
So
mean,
they could still turn it around in the second half,
if
you
I'm
know?
Xbox, I'm looking at this. I'm like, maybe I could turn this around. Like, maybe I stopped with this third party thing, and I could turn it around.
Yeah.
Ben Studio, 6 years, nothing to show for. Blue Point Games. This is where I'm going to lose it. Like, you literally. Okay, let me tell you something. I have a friend of mine. Shout out to Hamzi Boufaris. This guy, basically, like one tier below, worships Hidetaka Miyazaki. You tell him a game, he tells you this game is garbage. Go play a game from Software. The guy preaches the From Software Bible for like years now. And like, I'll tell you something. I don't think From Software makes the most technically, appealing games. I think their games, technically, as far as like frame rates and visuals and stuff like that, I always feel like they're a tier below like a lot of AAA developers. And so it actually has been it was previously kind of a burden, like a roadblock for me to get into the games. Because I'd look at him playing like Dark Souls 1 and be like, bro, this looks like garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't look as visually appealing as it.
Demon Souls, the game that
Plays.
started this all, that was stuck on the PS3, that a lot of even big like FromSoft aficionados never played. It was stuck on the PS3 at like 10 frames per second status. The game looked like just a blob. They got Blue Point Games on that game, and it was one of the first games to come out on PS5. And they made that game the most technically advanced game to come out on a PlayStation console at that point in time. Like, it basically removed the roadblock and burden I had. And that game, Demon Souls Remake, is the game that got me to pass my roadblock and get into From Software games and want to play them. That game was just like, it was such a shame that game was stuck on the PS3. And the fact that they fixed it up like that just shows like how wonderful that game was. You know what I mean? So you have a studio that is capable of this, right? They could take a game like that and turn it into something that everyone can access, right? And they did it with Demon Souls. You literally have arguably the best From Software game, Bloodborne, stuck on like sub 30 frames per second, early PS4 game, no patch for it on PS5. You know what I mean? No like upgraded resolution or frame rate. Dude, bro, I'm not a genius for saying you get Blue Point on that game and you remaster it or you remake it. It makes perfect sense, right? 10 years after it comes out, which would have been 2025, 2026, would have been the perfect time to release something like that. You literally took a studio with that level of skill and you put them on a God of War live service game that you just canceled? Like, bro, I don't know what to say. Like, insane. I've actually not played Bloodborne, holding on to hope that we're going to get a better version of Bloodborne. My hope is gone for that now. Like, I don't know what's going to happen to Blue Point. Are they going to get shut down too? Are they going to get merged with a bunch of other studios? Because, like, and we thought they were making their new IP. So when we heard they were making their new IP, I was like, okay, you know what? That's fine. They don't want to work on remakes and remasters. I respect that. We could wait for them to come out with a new game, a new, action adventure game, and they want to try storytelling. They want to do stuff like that. I'm willing to look into that. It's a studio I respect. We find out, no, they're actually not working on a new IP. They're working on a God of War multiplayer live service game.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you wasted this studio's time for 5 years. We could have had 2025, we could have had Bloodborne remake. The same way in 2020 we had Demon Souls remake. Demon Souls came out in 2009. 2020 we got a Demon Souls remake. Bloodborne came out 2015. 2025 would have been the year. And now I'm sitting here like, dude, I'm just going to play Bloodborne on PS5. I don't care how it performs. I'm just over this idea that it's going to get remastered or remade or anything. Like, I just, like, this is another studio, wasted talent. When is the next time they're going to release a game? And they bought them after Demon Souls remake. They're like, oh, you guys are so great. Let's buy you out. We want
Yeah,
you to
and
be
then
on
they
it.
don't utilize them for anything. Jeez.
I don't know. That's another, like, when's the next time they're going to release a game now? We're talking PS6, right? Even if they
Yeah.
stick around. Same with Bend. So that's a whole nother console generation without a game from either of those studios. Next, Fire Sprite. Fire Sprite released the Horizon Call of the Mountain PSVR 2 game.
Yep.
They were put on a Twisted Metal live service game, which we already know has been canceled. Which Twisted Metal live service seems like a better idea than God of War live service, you know? But this game suffered a lot of layoffs last year. This team suffered a lot of layoffs last year, and word on the street is a lot of the original people before Sony even bought Fire Sprite are gone. It's like a skeleton of its former self. This, with the canceled live service game, this studio has shut down written all over it. Let's get to Guerrilla Games. Guerrilla Games, Forbidden West 2022. Lego Horizon came out last year. Backtrack, previously Horizon Zero Dawn came out in 2017. By 2020, they showed us Horizon Forbidden West. So 3 years after Zero Dawn came out. By 2022, they released Forbidden West. So 5 years the games were apart, and 3 years between thus them showing us their next game.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, 2022, Forbidden West came out. So we're in 2025. We're due for, based on that kind of trajectory, we're due for an update from Guerrilla Games.
Yeah, just an announcement.
They're not working on, I don't think, based on what I've been reading, I don't think they're working on a new Horizon single player game. They seem to be working on a Horizon, either a co-op or a multiplayer live service game.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that news.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier here. That is still going through. That is still being worked on. And apparently there's also a separate project, the MMO, which I mentioned, that's being worked on by another studio. I'm not sure what that one situation is. That one would be due to be, revealed at some showcase or something. Haven Studios, the Jade Raymond studio that they bought during this live service push. This was one of the actual live service games that we've seen a trailer for, at least. But it's been a few years now. It would have been in 2022. I don't know. I mean, with the way Concord turned out, I I'm worried for this game. This one looks like another release and flop or cancel and cut to the chase. This looks like it's an extraction shooter, kind of like a Payday like or something.
Mm.
I'm very skeptical of this game. I'm not sure where we're going to go with this one. Housemark, Returnal in 2021, apparently working on a new IP. No confirmation what that new IP is. Is it another single player game? Is it a live service game? Are we in the same situation as Bluepoint? Housemark got purchased after the release of Returnal by Sony Interactive Entertainment, same way Bluepoint did. That's a big question mark for a state of play or a showcase, where we're at with that. Insomniac. We know the Web of Something game that was pitched. We don't even know if that was worked on. It was a live service game with like Spider-Man Multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
We found out about it in the Insomniac leak more than a year ago now.
Yeah. Their DLC got canned.
We know their DLC got canned. We know this live service game got canned as well. What's next for them? Wolverine, based on their leak, Wolverine was a 2026 game. We did have in the leak something about like a Venom game, similar to how Spider-Man Miles Morales came after the first Spider-Man.
Hopefully we still see that, but
I don't know about that one yet.
I'm not really holding my breath for that.
I mean, Wolverine due to start. Insomniac is the only PlayStation studio that's actually been pushing out games this console generation, let's be honest. Miles Morales launch, Ratchet and Clank less than 6 months later, Spider-Man 2, and Wolverine. That'll be 4 games in the console generation. If this Venom game comes out, 5.
Yeah,
right.
They're backpacking all of Sony studios and and rolling with it.
Yeah. So question marks. That would be. So far, what's Housemark working on? What's Insomniac? Where's Insomniac with Wolverine? Haven Studios, Fair Games. Is this thing coming? Where's Guerrilla Games at with their live service? Malaysia Studio. It's a first-party support studio. I don't expect we're going to see anything from that. Media Molecule. Development and on Dreams was shuttered in 2023, I believe. So they're no longer updating Dreams. And we have no information on what they're working on next. So that's also a question mark for a state of play or a showcase. Naughty Dog, of course, we already know. We kind of have our questions answered. They answered it with what's the word I'm looking for? With the Game Awards, Intergalactic, the something prophecy or whatever, So we know Naughty Dog's working on a new game. How far out is it? Is it even gonna make PS5 gen? Who knows? We know Naughty Dog's live service game's already been shuttered. That was the Last of Us multiplayer. So for that studio, at least we have answers. Again, still 4 years of wasted development, before they shut that game down. Nixie Software, they do the PC ports. Don't expect anything new from them besides PC ports.
Yeah. They're doing a good job.
Yeah. Polyphony, GT7. GT7 just came out 2 years ago. They're going to keep updating GT7 probably for the rest of the console generation before they release a new GT.
Yeah.
We're good there. San Diego, MLB The Show. We're going to get more of that. That studio's in good shape. San Mateo, they do support for second party stuff for like Rise of the Ronin and what have you. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. Then we get to Sony Santa Monica. Similar to the timeline that we had with Guerrilla Games, God of War came out in 2020 or 2018. We saw the first trailer of God of War Ragnarok in 2021. And actually in 2020, sorry. And then 2022, God of War Ragnarok came out. So it's been it's been 2 years since God of War Ragnarok. So I say we're due to see what the studio is working on. Ghost of Yote 2025, 5 years between it and Tsushima. Maybe if Naughty Dog wasn't working on some live service game, we could also got this intergalactic game this year. But Team Asobi, they just released Astrobot. Nothing to ask from there. Valkyrie Studio, they do first party support. XDev, they do third party support. Nothing to expect from that. And closed since the PS5 launched. Firewalk, the Concord studio, gone. London Studios, which was working on a live service game, gone. Neon Koi, which was a mobile live service developer, gone. Pixelopolis, the developers of Concrete Genie, gone. Japan Studio, shuttered and mostly merged with Team Asobi. Manchester Studio closed in 2020. That leaves us with Bungie, who kind of operate under their own thing. Question marks, when's Marathon coming? And when is this Gummy Bears game coming? 2 live service games, and we know that their their DLC, they're no longer releasing the expansions for Destiny 2, and there's no plan for Destiny 3 right now. So even the studios that are in good shape, they're not going to release anything interesting for the end of the console generation. They've already released it,
Yeah.
Like GT7's already out. We're not going to expect anything without. Team Asobi just released the game. There's nothing to look forward to in the future from that, right? In the near future.
Yeah.
Ghost of Yote is coming out soon, but then after that, right? Nothing. Naughty Dog Intergalactic feels very far away. Wolverine's still some time away.
Those two could push for like
late.
like a bridging to a new console kind of.
Yeah. Honestly, my only questions I have left then is Fair Games even going to come out? And if it is, when? What's this Guerrilla Games MMO and live service game? What is Housemarque working on? Please don't be a live service game. What is Media Molecule working on? And what is Sony Santa Monica working on? But by comparison, I was like, I want to see where Xbox is. Xbox has been in bad shape for the last decade with regards to mismanaging their first party studios. We know they bought Bethesda Game Studios, as well as buying also other smaller development studios, and then of course buying Activision Blizzard. But I think now we're at a point this year, it looks very good for Xbox, and we could kind of see the vision that they had when they started buying all these studios in 2019 come to something real, come to some fruition for the rest of this console generation. The Coalition is working on Gears of War E-Day and potentially a Gears of War 1 remake. Gears of War E-Day sounds like it's coming out this year, late next year. And same with this remake. Good news. Compulsion Games, South of Midnight, sounds like it's coming out this year. Double Fine, Psychonauts 2 came out in 2021. We don't know what their next game is, so that's a question mark. Halo Studios. Rumors that there's a new Halo game coming soon. So we'll see. Halo Infinite I thought was good. I know some people hated on it, but whatever. The Initiative. We were worried about Perfect Dark. The last Xbox showcase showed us that Perfect Dark's looking really good. This is being co-developed by Crystal Dynamics. In Exile, Clockwork Revolution, coming out soon as well. Maybe a little bit later, 2026, 2027. Mojang Studio, Minecraft, of course. Ninja Theory just released Hellblade 2. Obsidian. Obsidian is the gift that keeps giving for Xbox. Since 2019, the Outer Worlds, and then they got bought, and then I think it was Grounded, Pentiment, and I feel like I'm missing one more, but they got Avowed coming out in February, and potentially Outer Worlds 2 is rumored for this year as well. So 2 games in 1 year. Playground Games, they gave us the perfect Forza Horizon 5, and they're working on the Fable game, which is also rumored for this year or next year. Rare, maybe not in the best state. I know they're still working on Sea of Thieves and developing for that, which is an excellent game, but I think Everwild, which is their new game, doesn't sound like it's doing that great. Turn 10 just released Forza Motorsport 2023. Undead Labs, State of Decay 3, sounds like it's coming out pretty soon as well. World's Edge, Age of Empires 4 just came out 2 years ago. And that's their Xbox Game Studios. Sounds way better to me than anything I just listed off for PlayStation. And then Bethesda. Bethesda's also starting to pump out the games as well for Xbox. We know the game I'm looking forward to, Arcane Leon, Marvel's Blade. Sounds like it's a 2026 game. I did a little bit of research about this. I don't expect it in 2025, but I'm excited. It sounds like it'll be this console generation. Bethesda, of course, just released Starfield, which, some people like, some people don't. And they're now working on Elder Scrolls 6, so God knows when that'll come out. But ZeniMax Online still Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online. Id Software, Doom: The Dark Ages is looking really good for this year, and Machine Games just released the excellent Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So finally, some good stuff coming out from there. Of course, we had the situation where they shuttered 4 of those Bethesda game studios. Alpha Dog, who was working on mobile games, Roundhouse, which was like the support studio, Arcane Austin, which released Redfall, and then unfortunately Tango Gameworks, which released excellent Hi-Fi Rush, but now they're back. They're back and working on some new stuff.
Yeah.
As far as Activision Blizzard, it's the same stuff. Call of Duty from Activision. From Blizzard, it's Diablo 4 that just came out, Overwatch, World of Warcraft. They have a lot of IPs, though. So if Microsoft pushes them to make some of that stuff that they have sitting, StarCraft or whatever, then, we might see some good stuff. That's kind of a rundown, man. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we'll know more about Xbox in a few days. They have their developer direct, and we'll report back on that.
And I feel like Xbox is a little bit more transparent because they have their developer direct in the beginning of the year, which is deep dives for games we think they're coming out this year. And then they have their showcase in the summer. And then we have a good idea of what's there in their next year or two. And then they have their smaller showcase at Gamescom. And it's kind of nice. You kind of understand what's going on. With Sony, you get state of plays all over here. You don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
You get sometimes, some years you get a showcase, some years you don't. And then you're just questioning and you're left in the dark. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm the thing I'm heard about most in this story is just Bluepoint. Last time I looked into this, Bluepoint didn't come out as one of the studios that was making a live service game. So I wasn't too concerned. I was really hoping it would be whatever you want to make a new IP, that's fine. And then maybe get them on that Bloodborne remake or whatever.
Yeah.
So, it would have been the same timeline anyway, but at least they would have released the game. And we would have played the game instead of knowing they wasted 5 years when they could have been working on the Bloodborne remake. And I think I'm just gonna download Bloodborne and freaking play it.
And play it.
I know I'm done. I'm so done. I've been holding off on this game for years now, just hoping it would get.
I mean, you got a list of games that you need to finish first. So
yeah.
And from the sounds of it, it sounds like Dynasty Warriors might be something you're adding to that backlog.
Oh, buddy, that's not adding to the backlog. We'll get there. Let's not cut to the chase. Okay, moving on to Xbox. More news about Xbox's first-party kind of portfolio going to new platforms. We've already discussed this, a change in strategy, putting games onto different systems, and we've kind of mentioned it at the top of the show. But yeah, there's rumors that there's more first-party games from Xbox coming to different platforms. Hellblade 2 coming to PS5, which kind of felt like it was going to happen this year. This Gears of War remake that we haven't seen yet, also coming to PS5. And then I'm hearing mixed rumors. I'm hearing either they're coming to the Switch 2 and then also coming to the PS5 and Switch 2. But like Halo Master Chief Collection, Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, and what was the last one there? And Age of Mythology.
Dude, how crazy would it be if you could cross-play Halo on the Switch 2, PC, PS5, and Xbox?
It's going to be crazy. I think, like, me and you, I think, predicted this in the beginning of the year on our predictions episode, but Xbox is going full.
Yeah, full publisher. Yeah, multi-platform, cross-platform.
And it's a time worth seeing Halo or Gears of War on a PlayStation or Nintendo console. That's long gone, bro. They're going to be on all of them.
Dude, could you imagine DualSense support for it too?
I don't know if they'll actually do that.
Yeah, that would be insane.
Yeah.
Because I like remember Xbox was praising their controller.
There was even rumors that Xbox was going to release a controller like the DualSense, So
then now, like, imagine that they get to develop that into their game too. That'd be sick.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Exciting stuff. We'll see. I'm looking forward. I want Hellblade to come out on PS5, and then I want them to release a physical or something, and then I'll buy that physical. And if it's a special edition, I'll buy that special edition. I'm still mad that they didn't release a physical for that game, and then I'll play it again probably on PS5. Yeah, I don't know. Microsoft Flight Sim on Switch too? Sounds crazy, right?
Right?
But then Microsoft Flight Sim, hear me out.
Dude, the readers don't know this, but we were talking about the driving sims, and I sent you a driving sim
Yeah,
that you
like,
could afford.
This is one you could afford.
Yeah, it's just basically like the Switch 2 Joy-Cons on this plastic printed out wheel.
Yeah, for like Mario
So
Kart.
imagine the flight sim that you can afford. Just two little plastic things that you put your Joy-Con in.
Yeah, and then you control.
Yeah, to control it. Could you imagine?
This is what I'm thinking. It's VR2 port for Microsoft Flight Sim on PS5. Holy smokes.
There's no chance.
Oh, come on, bro.
Dude,
That's
you know what I'm waiting for? Now that I have a VR headset, I want the Horizon Call of the Mountain to show up on PC.
Oh, man, you could just borrow my headset and play
Yeah.
it if you want. And play it on PS5, but yeah. Maybe it'll come to PC. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. But it's been so many years. I mean,
No,
and I
it's
don't
only
think
been
Nexus is focused on that.
It's only been 2. I think it could come up. It's only been 2, right? Yeah, dude, that sounds amazing. VR Microsoft Flight Sim. Can you play that game VR on PC? I wonder.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it because I didn't own a VR
I can't
headset.
imagine
But
you'd be able to play it on Meta. I don't think that could handle that game. But
well, no, you would just use the link, so then
the
you
link,
still
yeah,
use your
it'd
PC
be linked,
hardware.
yeah.
Yeah.
PC VR. There's also reports that a new Halo game is to be announced this year. I know they kind of Halo Infinite was supposed to be the Infinite Halo, the live service Halo forever, and
Yeah.
they kind of abandoned that. But they changed their name to Halo Studios. 343 Games. Or it's not. What was it? What were they called before?
I thought it was 343 Games. Now they're
Yes.
called Halo Studios.
Yeah. I don't know. This is still rumors. We'll see. And there is a leak for a rumored Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake coming out apparently this year. So this is not being made in-house by Bethesda. It's being made by another developer, but this is interesting stuff. I always kind of missed out on Oblivion, but I know some people say it's better than Skyrim. This is news for my brother. He's gonna freak out. That guy loves Elder Scrolls. Loves Elder Scrolls. He literally probably has 1,000 hours into Skyrim. So yeah, this is news for him. And then lastly, apparently we're getting there's reports that Xbox is getting a new game from a legendary Japanese franchise. And rumor has it is the mystery game that's going to show up on the developer direct this Wednesday.
Interesting.
Yeah, because
is it Pokemon? Just kidding.
Everything is going multi-plat, bro.
That would be insane. The day you see Pokemon on a different platform, that will blow my mind. Or Mario on a different platform.
It's done.
Blow my
if
mind.
That happens, it's done. There's no such thing as a console. It's just the console wars are over. Yeah. Yeah, so on the developer direct on the ad, they have they're going to show us 33 Claire Obscure. They're going to show us South of Midnight. They're going to show us Doom: The Dark Ages, and there was one more game that was mystery game. They always do it every year. There's like a mystery game you don't know about. That's what they did with Hi-Fi Rush 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was the mystery game, and Hi-Fi Rush previously hasn't been announced. And then they showed it, and they're like out now, and everyone's like, wow. So that is reports for Xbox's games. I think I covered all of those. You know what? That's it for stories. Let's get to the thing that I really want to hear about. So, okay, last week you've been high on Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
I was high on it based on the trailers. I went and played the demo right after we got off the last call last Sunday.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Sorry for the random cut in the video. I'm just watching it back and doing the edit, and I kind of get off topic with the whole describing Dynasty Warriors. So I thought I would just save you the troubles of listening to my rambling and actually condense this information. So the whole premise of Dynasty Warriors is you basically play through a time period in China. It's based off a novel, which is based off actual history. So there's some liberties that are taken by the author to just kind of make the book more readable. And then obviously the game developers have taken liberties from that to make a game that's actually enjoyable to play. There's really 3 factions that you need to know about. Shu, with the leader of Liu Bei; Wei, which the leader is Cao Cao; and then Wu. The leaders kind of vary, but it's basically the Sun Clan, which is believed to originate from the writer of the Book of War. Yeah. So the premise of the story doesn't change from Dynasty Warrior to Dynasty Warrior. You're basically replaying this whole storyline over and over again. They obviously do improvements to visual aspects and to gameplay, and they sometimes add more characters. In Origin specifically, you play as a kind of another faction or a moving force or an observing force that helps one of the factions realize their goal of unifying China. So the gameplay itself is very hack and slash like. You're running around the map, basically following out the tactics that are laid out to you. There's different weapons for you to try out, different mechanics to add depth to the game, including some battle tactics and obviously your ultimate attacks and companion attacks. So overall, package wise, it does play very similar to the previous Dynasty Warriors 8, but it does add additional layers to up the level of difficulty in combat, and also does make it way more interesting to play. So I will kind of leave it at that, and then we'll jump right back to me and Mo's conversation.
From my vibe I got from the demo, I haven't actually dived into the main game yet. And then correct me if I'm wrong, if this is kind of the overarching kind of gameplay loop. Is you almost go on a mission where you're supposed to do something. There's an end goal that you're supposed to get to, and you have the ability to do it in multiple ways on this larger battlefield that is multiple corridors kind of connected through different ways. And
Yes.
you control one character at a time who's kind of like an OP character, right? And
Yes.
there are multiple other OP characters, both on your side as allies, controlled by computers, and on the enemy side, who almost function as like mini bosses or bosses. And they're
Yes.
the enemy generals. And you have some level of control over your soldiers that function as minions, and you can give them commands to do specific things. And then
Kind of, not really. So the battle tactics is like when you use your soldiers,
Mm,
and it's
exactly.
not like a minute by minute like
No.
use. You have like one use after each cooldown.
Yeah. So it's not
Yeah.
like you're playing
Yeah, you don't
Total
control
War
where the
from
troops kind of go.
yeah, it's not
They follow a battle plan basically.
yeah. So it's not like Mountain Blade Banner Lord as much as it would be like, yeah. So
Yeah.
you just go along the way, and you could like lose the mission depending on how you chose to like, follow through with it. You could be like using the wrong strategies to get to the end. And then basically, yeah, you're running with these minions and you're fighting these mini bosses along the way.
Mhm.
And it's almost like a third person action game, kind of minced with like a strategy game, kind of minced with this hack and slash, 1000 KO game. That's kind of the vibe I got. Does it continue in that same kind of
Yeah,
overall game?
the gameplay doesn't really change that much. So it does get a bit repetitive. However, I feel like the difficulty ramp up keeps you interested. So like you start off with fairly easy battles, and then closer to the end of the game, like some of these battles are actually hard. Like you can lose them if you aren't like paying attention and you aren't prioritizing what needs to be done on the battlefield in terms of what happens.
Which was the case in the demo, because I like lost that thing like 2 times before I figured it out. Yeah.
So yeah, there's times like that, or there's times where you just meet like an OP boss, and like what happened in the demo.
Yeah, Lubu, yeah.
Yeah, you do fight him in the game, and he is just as hard as
He is
he
in
shows up on the demo. Like you actually have to beat him.
Yeah, yeah. That felt a little Souls like, to be honest with you.
Don't worry. I also had to like turn down the difficulty for that because I was like, I'm not grinding through this. Because, fun fact, so once you beat the game, you unlock the ultimate warrior mode and there's challenges. So imagine fighting him because you want to get this like reward after, but you can't use any potions or consumables. So that's one of the challenge modes. You have to beat him.
He was one-shotting me. He was basically one-shotting me. He had like that move where he chokes you and then slams you on the floor and then steps on you, or whatever.
Yeah. So he still has that exact same moveset, and he does do a lot of damage. So like you're meant to like level up your person like high enough so that you can tank a few shots, I think. And you'll have to have like the best weapons and stuff. So you basically have to be like just as OP in order to face him.
Fun. So as a Dynasty Warrior aficionado, is this like what you were looking forward to?
This in terms of like gameplay, story, character design, because they did revamp a lot of these characters in terms of appearance. This is exactly what I was looking for coming back to a Dynasty Warriors game.
That's amazing. That's incredible. Yeah.
Like, so I'll give you some context. So I got this game or started playing this game, I think Wednesday or something like that. Maybe like Tuesday night. I can't remember. Mm-hmm. And what is it? Sunday today? I have 50 hours in this game.
Holy smokes, bro.
I mean, I was off, but this was the only thing I was playing. And I still want to finish this game.
That's exciting. Yeah. I'm hyped. Dude, I'm hyped. I'm so hyped.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped.
Considering this is your first Dynasty Warriors game too, like I think this is like a little bit of a special treat because not all of the Dynasty Warrior games are like this fun.
I mean, I saw the trailers. It looked really good in the trailers. The demo came out, which is perfect. I tried the demo and I was like, just looking to see what the reviews were going to be, what the vibe check was going to be like. Bro, I played that demo. I didn't care. I was like, I don't care if this gets like a critic of 65. I need to play this. Oh man, it felt so fun. For some reason, I wish I had a little bit more control over your minions, and I wish it would like change the outcome of the battlefield like that otherwise. But still, dude, even like the combat, like between the parrying and the dodging and using your like special moves. Oh man, it was just. And then so I have two gripes. I haven't played the game yet, but I have two gripes already from the top. I would have preferred to play this game co-op with you. And previous Dynasty Warrior games have had co-op. Why doesn't this game have co-op? Is it a performance thing?
No, I think purely they wanted to focus on the story aspect. And it's hard to, like, I guess, build it together. And so, like, I could see how they could have made this co-op because there is technically another Guardian of Peace that shows up in the story. So really, I feel like they could have made it co-op if they really wanted to, in terms of
like secondary, like one of your other generals that you're using as the companion.
Yep. And
we know which general I would have picked.
Yeah. The waifu?
Just kidding. No, not the waifu. Not the waifu. Not waifu alert here. What general would I have picked? I forgot his name.
It would have been Guan Yu.
Guan Yu, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my god, bro. This guy.
The red-faced OP.
Yeah. That guy, what is he, like freaking 6'9" with a huge beard? Oh, bro, he looks amazing.
Dude, I don't want to ruin it too. Sorry?
There's a huge statue of him in China, bro.
Dude, there's statues of him everywhere. But listen to the peasant dialogue when you're like roaming around the map. Yeah. So that's new as well. So there's like an overarching map of all the regions and you can kind of like explore. But listen to the peasant, like all the peasants talk. It's actually really funny. Some of the stuff.
Okay.
And there's like little Easter eggs for like what's to come.
Anybody who's familiar with the story, yeah.
Yeah. If you know the story, like you're kind of like, oh, haha, that's funny. But I do have some comments on the game itself. I was worried about playing as like kind of an observer because like really you want to play as like the OP, like one of the OP generals.
Yeah.
Like yeah, if you want to play like a big battle, like you want to be playing as like Guan Yu or like or Chow Chow or like one of the major characters. I thought they did a really good job at balancing out you playing as an observer, and then when you switch characters, you get to play as like literally the most OP
That was so
person on the
fun.
field.
That was so fun when you do that in the demo. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
so
So
fun.
it carries every single time you get to switch and be like a different character. It
Yeah.
feels so satisfying because all your attacks, like at the end of your time frame with the character, you have like 2,000 plus kills.
Yeah. It's
So
bro, dude, the
they
dopamine when
balanced it.
you swing your sword, 1,000 KOs, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it never gets old. Like
yeah,
especially when
1,000
you get to
KOs.
try like the other characters. So that's a plus. They really balanced out like the generals and then you playing as an observer. What they
Yeah,
kind of failed in doing was adding enough playable characters.
not a lot of those. All those generals aren't playable. Like
So the major ones are, but
Guan
there's
Yu
like
was.
yeah,
I played. Yeah, I played
yeah,
as
you
a
get to play as like the major ones. Like all
yeah.
the major ones are there. It's just some of the smaller ones I feel like are missing or like they don't show up as often as you'd like so that you can play them.
What what number of those playable characters were waifus?
I think technically only one.
Oh, that low on the waifu score then.
Yeah, the waifu score's pretty low considering like this is a this is originally a game with a lot of waifus. Like I sent you the DLC packs, right?
Yeah,
From the last Dynasty Warriors 8 I played. There's like maid outfits for them. There's like a nurse
nurse
outfit,
outfit.
a schoolgirl outfit.
Jeez. Um. Yeah. I just wish this was co-op. If this
Yeah.
was co-op, I'd probably get my brother on it. We'd play it, and then I think after we'd play it, he'd be like, "Bro, I can't do it. Stop. I gotta go watch Battle of the Red Cliffs. I gotta go watch the movie." Oh my god.
And then the thing is, this doesn't really fully cover like all of the story for Dynasty Warriors. So I'm not surprised if they do end up making a second version of this, like
Or
a
DLC.
sequel.
Like
I
a
don't think
DLC.
it'll be DLC. I think it'll be like a full sequel. So yeah, usually Dynasty Warriors goes until basically the formation, like until the very end almost, where the Jin faction, which is kind of like what Cao Cao's army eventually turns into,
Mm.
wins. But really, like it's kind of just a sad defeat of everybody because corruption and all this political stuff happens that kind of takes over like all the goodness to the three kingdoms. But yeah, it doesn't tell the full story, which is a little bit disappointing. And yeah, just the playable characters is kind of like a bit disappointing. So hopefully they make
Well,
a little bit of changes to the next game,
um.
which I foresee, they're
So
gonna make because
they
they're
don't
doing
get to
good.
the they don't get to the point where the Western Jin dynasty rises.
No,
Like it's not the full three kingdoms
no,
yet.
it's not the full three kingdoms. They basically stop at the most pivotal point for where Cao could have basically won all of China or basically unified all of China in terms
Mm,
of like the three regions.
mm. Um, are all the other games in this time frame? Are they do they take
Yeah,
place
they all include like all the way to the creation of Jin and they're basically
so,
the
so
death of Liu Bei, no surprise, the death of Cao and the death of like all the families in this all the members in the Sun Clan really.
so they always actually every one of these games that comes out, they actually revisit this time frame every time. It's not like a different era in Chinese.
No, they basically retell the same story over and over
every
again.
single time.
Yeah, every single time. It's just this one stops much earlier than the rest of them.
Okay, interesting. Maybe they want to take a different turn.
Yeah.
I have another criticism. It feels really uncanny valley not having. Okay, so I feels really uncanny valley not having Chinese audio for this game. I don't really like English dialogue on a lot of games made in Japan, but then having Japanese audio is just weird. It just feels really weird.
Yeah.
And
I never thought about this at all until you brought it up, because I've originally only played like Dynasty Warriors and they're only speaking English.
Mm.
So to me, I was just like, oh, this is like normal, like whatever. Like clearly it's like, not made in China.
Yeah, it's not, but still.
But it never like even crossed my mind when I was playing like Dynasty Warriors 8 or anything like that. But then when you brought it up, I'm like, it kind of ruined it for me, because I was like, oh, that's really strange. I had to think about it. I was like, oh, yeah, you're kind of right.
There was another game that came out from Koei Tecmo within the last few years. I didn't see it to the end. I only played it for a few hours. It's Wolong Fallen Dynasty from Team Ninja, who is the developers of Neo and Neo 2 and the recent Rise of the Ronin. That game actually takes place in China during the Three Kingdoms. Three Kingdoms or during the Warring States? I'm not sure.
Three Kingdoms as well, technically. It's like a different storyline. You basically fight all of the generals as like bosses.
Yeah, so it's a Souls-like whatever. Also published by Koei Tecmo, but it had Chinese localization, and it had Chinese, and it actually gives you the option. Like it tells you straight up, like as soon as you boot up the game, like it's almost like it's a recommended setting or something. Like, hey, this is a game that takes place in China. Do you want to do Chinese audio? Yeah, so which I actually did for that little period of time. I mean, I also watch a lot of international films, so I don't mind. I think I played Ghost of Tsushima all in Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So I just like it gives me a level of immersion. Right.
Yeah, that extra level. Yeah, like I said, I honestly didn't think about it at all. Like until you brought it up, and I was just like, now I can't. Like whenever there's like a cutscene where the mouth doesn't kind of match the English dialogue, I like think about it. I'm like, huh. Yeah, you're right. This is like a little bit weird.
Yeah, but it matches the Japanese because I think that was the original language.
Yeah, the original language that was like,
but then it's just kind of weird to
mm-hmm.
me.
But yeah, basically, like verdict for this game is I'm super happy that they revisited like the Dynasty Warriors like mainline game. I actually like love it. I'm gonna finish it, and I might try some of the challenge modes.
So you would recommend this game even for someone who's not really into this
genre? Yeah, I think it's
1000 KO.
Yeah, I think it like really takes its time to tell you like what is happening in the world, which some of the games they don't really. They just kind of like throw a lot of exposition in there. But like in this game, it literally tells you like, so this is what's happening on the battlefield. Like this is kind of what's happened now. You get a little bit of a better understanding of what's happening in the world, instead of just like, oh, I'm jumping into another battle, then I'm jumping into another battle, and another battle. And then you also kind of like, it's probably not accurate at all to history, but you kind of like understand a little bit of the feelings with the generals, because you build a bond with them, and you kind of have like these like intimate moments with them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's funny.
So yeah, I think I sent you one, which was like the weirdest unhinged one. And that's with like Zhuge Liang's wife. And she's like, I guess, known to be like a puppeteer, but it made it sound like she was like making a sex doll of you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, some of the generals, like, I don't know if they like had romantic undertones, but like it felt like honestly they were kind of like hitting on you, even though like you're a dude and they're a dude, which like I'm fine with. But I was just like, I don't understand like what this scene is supposed to be conveying. But I thought it was funny no matter what. Like it was like interesting to know their characters, and then like on top of that, like I found it funny because like, oh, is this like kind of like a romantic subplot?
So it's interesting that this game seems to actually have some good writing too, in addition to actually being good gameplay wise, which I didn't.
Yeah. They stick to like some of the actual like battles, like what happened, which is kind of cool. I mean, a lot of it's kind of like made up a little bit, no matter what, because it is based on a book that's a novel.
Based on a novel that's probably an excessive romanticization
of like what happened in the Warring States.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, like super recommend, even if you're like new to the franchise. I'm excited to hear what you have to say about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't had the chance to hop in, and but the longer we're gonna be talking, the less chance I'm gonna have time.
Yeah, I think you should up the difficulty. Like you're pretty good with like more difficult games, so you should just start off with the hero difficulty.
Okay.
Yeah, I started off in like the Wanderer difficulty, which is like medium.
But I was getting smoked in the demo.
The demo's not like an accurate representation of like how difficult it gets. Like it's an accurate representation of like what it feels like to fight Lubu, but in the rest of the game, like it's not that bad.
Okay, well that's kind of reassuring to some extent.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, I'm basically so I started off with Wanderer, which is like their medium difficulty, and I bumped it up to
okay. So maybe
like
I'll start at the highest, and if it seems like I'm hitting a roadblock, I'll bump it down.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of optional missions that you can do to like help boost your character strength as well.
Okay.
So I mean, you can choose to do those, but realistically, I only did a few of them because like, you know, I was just kind of getting the hang of the game.
I'm excited, man. What I played from the demo really caught my eye. Another thing I wanted to point out, which I was surprised by, the performance seemed really good. I don't know if it carried over to the main game. Like I didn't notice like frame rate drops or anything.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm playing on PC. Perfect. No crashes. Everything's smooth. I haven't even gotten like any weird like visual artifacts at all.
Yeah, I was scared because I was like, this game is trying to do a lot, and I'm not sure if the studio is that technically like, you know, like I was afraid it's gonna chug, you know, there's gonna be popping like whatever, and then, I mean maybe because I played it on like the highest frame rate mode, so probably drop the resolution to the lowest. Dude, I did not like. There's like 1,000 guys on the screen. Everybody's running. Like I'm effing people up, bro. People are flying all over the place.
Yeah, I haven't had the game crash on me once. So like whatever they're doing is
whatever they're doing
is
is
great.
Wonders. Yeah.
Yeah, like games need to come out like this polished in terms of like, you know,
it feels polished. Yeah. There was there was you know what I liked doing was the those duels.
Oh yeah.
Battlefield, and the guy calls you out, and there's like, bro, there's like 10,000 guys like smashing into each other, and the one guy calls you out, and then like everybody like creates a circle around you guys, and then like, oh, bro, that's so sick. And then you could actually use it to take out a pretty like beefy opponent.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that often in the actual game. It does happen in like key moments. I'm actually excited for you to. So I'm excited to see which faction you choose because it basically by chapter 3 it kind of sets up like, oh, these leaders believe in this and this leader believes in what. I'm excited to see what you choose for your initial run through.
That's easy. And then, I don't. Why is that difficult? Whatever faction Guan Yu's on.
Honestly, I don't know how to break it to you, but like the leader of
Guan Yu's
faction is kind of like he's a little bit soft.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say evil. That's okay.
No. He's definitely the most righteous, but like each faction has like something that like represents them. So like I'm just interested to see which one you're gonna choose.
On the screen. Come on, bro. Put a picture of this guy on the screen, bro. Come on, tell me you don't want this guy to be on your team.
I will. I'll add them. I'll add them on there. I'm gonna put them right around your head, so you'll always just have them right beside you. The whole episode, I'm gonna have his face right beside there.
This guy's beard, bro. Amazing. Yeah. Any
But
other
yeah,
final thoughts?
there's two missions in particular I found really hard, so I'm kind of interested to see how you'll feel about them. But you'll have to play through it. I'm not gonna tell you.
Man, this weekend didn't we had on Friday, because what happened was I was just gonna go pick up a copy on Friday. I didn't pre-order, right? Because sometimes when you pre-order online and it comes in the mail, it actually comes later than the release date. It's easier to just go grab a copy. I go look on the websites the day of, bro, it was sold out everywhere.
That's crazy. So it obviously sold really well because it
either it sold very well or they didn't print enough. Because
Yeah.
that's what happened with Warhammer 40K. Maybe they didn't think they'd sell as well, so they didn't print enough. Because I called GameStop and I said, like, yo, can I pre-order a copy? And this was like Tuesday. They're like, actually, we stopped taking pre-orders. I'm like, what? I'm like, why? Either like they're not getting enough or something. Anyway,
That's crazy. I
checked
mean,
their
I
website.
hope it sold well because then
Yeah,
we're
of
getting
course.
a sequel.
Yeah. I checked on their website on Friday. Sold out everywhere. You couldn't even buy it online. Walmart, same thing. Best Buy, same thing. It was literally only Amazon. And the
That's
reason why I
crazy,
didn't
dude.
pre-order,
This year's starting off so strong. Like we're
January
in
17th.
January.
We already have Origins, yeah. So then I went on Amazon, and the first time I was going to pre-order on Amazon, it said it was going to come till Tuesday. I'm like, screw off. So then I put it in for pre-order or to buy it the day of, and it said it'll come in 4 on the morning the next day on Saturday. I had so even if I got the copy, it didn't matter. We had like a year-end company party on Friday that I went to, and I was out like all day on that. And Saturday, I was like, either I'm going to record with Durwin or not play. But then there was like the UFC card yesterday, so some of my friends wanted to come over to watch it, so we did that. And then I'd just been busy between the days, and then we recorded today, so I haven't had the chance to hop in here. But and then yeah, so I just I'm looking forward to it, but just didn't really work out this weekend.
I think we should give you a chance to play this game.
I do. But I do want to mention one thing.
Okay.
So I've been playing only one thing, waiting for this game after I played the demo.
Oh yes.
Okay. So I told my friends about Balatro, and they listened to the show. And a lot of them hopped on it early, and there was like an initial interest, and we're all like, "Yeah, this game is cool." One of them this week literally posts his score number on like Monday, and it was like, and at this point, I've been playing Balatro for a month. I'm not really good at it, and I play it like casually. It's fun, I get it, but I just feel like I'm not breaking into that numbers to like win runs. And I had only won like 2 runs at that point. One on my phone, one on my PlayStation, both blue deck. This guy posts his number for his like run, and I'm like, he scored like 1,000,000 something in a hand. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And to win a run, you need to score 100,000 on big blind anti-8. I'm like, I'm doing this wrong. I'm obviously dumb. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Basically, that guy kicked off this resurgence in Balatro interest in the whole friend group. And we have literally 6 or 7 people on it, like hard. And basically, it made me rewire my brain and like, bro, I'm doing this all wrong. And I started to like realize what I'm doing wrong. And since then, I've won like 6 runs in the last week.
Okay, you have to tell me what's going on in terms of like what was the rewire?
So there's a couple of things. First thing, I wasn't skipping blinds. And
you
blinds,
weren't skipping blinds. Okay, I started skipping blinds already.
Skipping blinds gives you bonuses depending on the blind to skip.
Yep.
Second of all, I didn't understand the difference between plus multiplier and time multiplier cards. Under multiplication cards, the red color, because there's chips and your multipliers. Chips are usually blue, multipliers are red. There's actually 2 types of multipliers. There's a plus multiplier and a times multiplier. A plus multiplier increases the number in your multiplication slot by a sum. Plus 40, plus 30. The times multiplier multiplies that number by a number. So times 2, times 3. I wasn't reading the plus and minus, so I would get these times multiplier numbers, and I wouldn't even use them because they would say times 1.5. And I'd be like, why do I need this card?
Oh, so it takes whatever your multiplication is already, and then
multiplies
times it by 1.5.
or 2 or 3 depending on the card. I was avoiding those cards because I would just scroll over it. I'm like, this is obviously better. It says 41. This one says 3. Obviously take the 41. I was reading it wrong. This one's saying plus 41. This is saying times
Oh
3.
my god.
Yes. Okay. That was
Okay, so I have to relook. Okay, I have to relook at these cards
you
then.
have to
Okay.
look at these cards. Some of these cards that you've been skipping are like gems. Okay. That's the other thing. The other thing I wasn't realizing, even after I figured that out, is the order in which you put your jokers can change the sum you're getting in the end. If you put those times multipliers in the front, they'll trigger first. So if you have a hand that's 100 times 2, you're doing 100 times 2 and then let's say times 3. So now you're doing 100 times 2 times 3, which would be 100 times 6. And then let's say you have plus 40 chips at the end, plus 40 multiplier at the end. You'll be doing 100 times 6 plus 40, so 100 times 46, let's say. If you reorder those the other way around and put the plus multiplier first, you're doing 100 times 2 plus 40, so 100 times 42 times 3, so it would be 100 times, right? Bed mass.
Okay.
Bed mass in math. If you
Yeah. So you have to.
So you want to use your multiplication multiplier at the very end. So it multiplies everything after it's all been added up, rather than multiplying something and then adding things after to the end of it. Right?
I didn't realize. I kind of knew that the orders of the Joker mattered, not to that extent.
Yes,
though.
it makes a big difference.
Because I've run into that card where it's like, oh, it'll destroy the card directly to the right of it or whatever.
No, to that. So think about it. Let's say I did 5 times 2 plus 3 versus, or 5 times 2 plus 3 times 2. 5 times 2 plus 3 is going to be 5 times 5 times 2 is going to be 5 times 10. You do it the other way around, right? You do 5 times 2 times 2, that's 4, plus 3, it's 8. You're getting a smaller number depending on the way you order them. Just pay attention to how you order your jokers. The other thing too is I kind of didn't care about, because I didn't understand this multiplier card, I was avoiding glass cards and I was avoiding times cards.
Oh yeah, I would always avoid the
glass
cards because they break, right? They can break.
But it doesn't matter, bro. Look, pay attention to the glass card. It's a times multiplier. It's a times 1.5 multiplier. And same with the steel cards, but the steel cards, you keep them in hand, your glass, you play them, right? And so they will multiply that card by 1.5 before the whole thing gets multiplied by whatever, right? That's another thing we found out, or as a group. The other thing I wasn't paying attention is to re-triggers. Red stamp cards. Red stamp re-triggers the effect of the card. So it does it twice.
Mm-hmm. So if you put that at the very end of your hand that you play,
it depends on how, because there's some jokers that will already re-trigger the first card in your hand.
Okay.
So you could re-trigger a re-trigger. All right.
So you could chain a trigger so you can basically count it like multiple times, like your whole hand and the whole multiplication.
Exactly. Let me tell you something. We watched a video online of somebody who broke this game. He got a number to the power of 298. He got to anti-32, then the game stopped mathematically counting stuff, and it just said infinity. And no matter what he would play, he couldn't, what do you call it? You know what that guy was playing? He was playing high cards with King of Diamond. His whole deck was 18 King of Diamonds. They were all steel cards, and he was playing only high card. He would play the high card, and all the steel cards in his deck would do times 1, and then he had red stamps on all of them. So they would all re-trigger. So he'd play the high card, and he just fast forward, and it would go times 1.5, times 1.5. And each card in his deck is like, as it goes by, it like gets re-triggered 6-7 times as it goes along, and the number keeps going up. That's all he was doing, which is not all he was doing, like to get to that level. And then he had like these, he had like celestial, not celestial, spectral packs that double your consumable pack. And then like his consumable was this spectral card that made copies of a card you already have. So he had infinite copies of this freaking steel
The Steel King or
single
whatever.
diamond with a red stamp on it. And it just kept, bro, it's like 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. And it kept going through all of them. And he's just playing a high card. Bro, literally, my brain has been rewired about this game, and it's way more deep than you think it is. And you could do crazy stuff, right? So we all got on it hardcore. Bro, it exponentially, as the week went by, it exponentially got crazier. We had a friend, he bought the game when he listened to the podcast, actually. And he was having a baby boy, but he didn't play at the time, and he just got into it this week. I'm telling you, on Wednesday, he literally sends us a message. How do you use a tarot card? Dude, today, he posted a photo on the group chat. He won a run. His highest hand in that run was 3.8 billion chips scored. 3.8 billion. To win anti-8 boss blind, it's 100,000. Guy got 3.8 billion chips scored. We were playing this game wrong. It's unlocked something new in my brain. I'm literally now like, I've won multiple decks right now, and I'm just trying to. I really haven't even gotten to their numbers. The best hand I've played is like 600,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, it's just, we're just doing it wrong. We're just doing it wrong. Like, and you have to pay attention to these jokers, reroll shops. You know, like, bro, I've had some runs. I'll tell you about them more. I didn't want to keep chatting about it in the thing, but I've had some runs where it's like cards that you think would never like win, and it's insane the combinations you put. Like, I would just go into your collection and read some of the jokers and think about how you can synchronize.
How about you can score higher?
Yeah, think about how you could synchronize.
It looks
For
like
example, I had a
honestly,
joker.
it sounds like you've achieved enlightenment in this game.
I haven't achieved enlightenment, to be honest with you. But some of these other guys have achieved enlightenment. Like, I'm like a lower Buddha. They're like a higher Buddha. They're like Mahatma Buddha. Like, but I'm just like, I'm a lesser Buddha, but like, I swear to God, dude, it's insane. I don't know how to explain to you how deep this game is actually. Like, once you peel the cover, and you're like, whoa, like, it's nuts. Like, but once you actually get started and look at that thing, look at the times multiplier versus the plus multiplier. Look at reordering your jokers. Look at actually like picking up, think about re-rolling the shop. Thinking about actually holding on to money to like use jokers later that actually like increase based on the money you're holding. There's jokers that improve based on or get worse based on how much cards you discard. There's jokers that improve based on how many blinds you skip. There's jokers that improve multiplication based on how empty the rest of your joker slots are. I want to run with 2 jokers. A negative joker that gave me an extra slot, and I had a joker that increased multiplier for every time you had an empty joker slot. So it was multiplying by like 6. And I was basically getting all my chips and my plus multiplication from my cards. It's just,
That's crazy.
It's nuts. I had a joker where every time you sold a card, it was a joker. Every time you skipped a blind, you got increased times 0.25 multiplication. By the end of ante 7, it was multiplying everything by like times 7.5. I would skip every small and big blind. And then I had a joker where every time you sold a card, it increased in multiplication. What I would do is I'd save my money. I'd get to the boss blind. I'd win the boss blind, and then I would just buy cards and sell them.
And sell them.
Buy cards and sell them. Sell them. So then the next boss blind, I'm more, and I just save my money, and yeah, it's insane.
I'm gonna have to revisit.
You're gonna have to revisit, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because like I haven't been playing. Like I've had zero time to play an online or a mobile game.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, that's it for this week. A little bit over 2 hours. We'll get there eventually.
I think once we cut it down a little bit, but
it was a big year. It was a big week. We had Dynasty.
We do have to ask the big question: are you going to be playing Dynasty Warriors Origin after this podcast is over?
Yes, I will. Already downloaded.
I'm going to hold you to it.
I will. I might not play a lot, but I will.
This can't be an Alan Wake 2 scenario.
Yeah, or
Silent Hill 2.
No. You're gonna hold me.
Or Flight Sim.
Yeah, or Flight Sim, or Stalker 2,
or Indiana Jones.
Or Indiana Jones. but that's like October, man. Like 1,000 games come out, and then like Marvel Rival comes out, and it's like, no, you're not playing it. Marvel Rival. Okay, Mosey, I'm calling you out on this podcast. This dude literally, we got into a heated discussion, like not like a friendly heated discussion about gaming actually, and then he's like, listen, man, if you say Marvel's Rivals again on the podcast, bro, I'm gonna shoot myself. I'm not gonna listen to the podcast again. And then I was like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, bro, you always say Marvel's Rivals. He's like, it's Marvel Rivals. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's right. It's Marvel Rivals. I've been saying Marvel's Rivals. But in my defense, every single Marvel game that comes out is called Marvel's something. You go to the PlayStation Store, you type in.
How about Guardians of the Galaxy as a example?
It's Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's Marvel's Spider-Man. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Lego Marvel's Avengers. Marvel's Midnight Suns. Every single game. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Every single game. For some reason, this one's Marvel Rivals. I'm sorry. It's just Marvel Rivals. Stupid. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, no. This time I'm playing Dynasty Warriors. Okay. Thanks for joining us, guys. And remember to like our
our Facebook, our Instagram.
Our Instagram page at the Slow Run Cast. And if you can subscribe or like our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube, that would help a lot. And if you could ring the bell to get the notification for when the new episode comes out, that would be great. And thanks for joining us again. And we'll look to see you next week. We'll discuss that Xbox Developer Direct.